Hello, hello, hello. Um, this is a really impromptu podcast. Um, so I was just listening to shout out to Cellulite podcast. I've been listening to him for the past 2 days. Yesterday I really couldn't even say anything because they had DC Slim talking for the majority of it until I just fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so so they were having a discussion over the Cyrus case and how Rick Chu got basically acquitted of murder. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Murder, and turn around to blaming the parents for why this kid had a gun. Why are you walking around the store with a gun? And you see the videos where one guy was interviewed and where he said it's just normal for a 14-year-old to have a gun around. And then you look at the trial of that case, and the guy is trying to explain away why a 14-year-old is carrying a gun illegally. You know, it was wild, and I was like, wow, that's the witness you had up there? Yeah, I see why y'all lost. I see why that prosecution lost, man. Then you have Carmelo Anthony. His trial is starting up, and he has an all-white jury. Well, not all white, but there's no black people on there, right? So, and I'm listening to the discussion back and forth. You know, they're going all over the place, and it had me thinking about a lot of conversations that we have on these YouTube streets. You know, we're talking about submission, domination. We're talking about women being celibate but giving up this celibacy. They sitting here waiting for years for marriage and not getting married, and the guy leaves them for another woman who get married within months of being with the guy. And the thing of it, and all the other stuff that they're talking about, why these black men treat black women like this, why the black women treat black men like this. And I think about the election 2 years ago, where even though that the 40% of the Hispanics went and voted for Trump, along with white women, funny enough, black men getting blamed for the election getting lost. Even before that, black men are getting shamed by Obama for being misogynistic towards Kamala Harris, when the main people who was misogynistic and had power to enforce their misogyny was white men. And so when I think about all these relationship issues and issues with the neighborhoods of black people, and how young men are getting chased down out of a store and shot down. 12-year, I remember 12-year-olds getting shot up by the cops as soon as they see them with a toy gun getting shot up. George Floyd getting choked out and he crying mama. And people are protesting for that. The one element in the room that is not discussing these black discussions is powerlessness. And the fact is, a lot of black people are powerless. It's powerless. They really are powerless. They can't control their pussy. They can't control their dick. They can't control their emotions. They can't control their mental. They can't control their spiritual. They can't stay on their square. They can't keep it real. And then when you fail as a person to stand on your square, to make sure what your needs are, whatever they are, get met, you want to blame the other person. Why these black men don't treat us better? Why these black women don't respect us? Well, why the police get to beat us down and kill us with their own, with no remorse and no penalties? Why this Chinese man get to chase my son down and shoot him, whether he had a gun or not? And I hear all discussing all this wrap around, but the real thing is powerless. That our people, black people, are powerless. They don't know what power is. They think they do. They think that their pussy's power. They think their dick is power. But when real power step in the rule, you find out that your pussy and your dick don't mean a goddamn thing. It could be bought and paid for with no problems. You talk about how aggressive when you find out your aggressive, your physical violence mean really nothing, because that white man can come put you in handcuffs or put that foot in that neck and have you screaming mama. And the women seeing that, instead of saying, wow, he went out like a punk, no, they gonna rally behind a dude who didn't even fight for his life. But yet, you want these men to be powerful. You want these men to control their emotions and, treat you, treat you like a human being. But when he don't give you that special treatment, he don't, flirt, or he don't get you extra kindness, all of a sudden, oh, he hates black women, oh, he gay. When men are seeking camaraderie with other men, where the women are around, y'all keep calling them gay, you keep calling them weird or stuff like this, because you don't even understand power. What power does? You don't understand. You don't understand what power and control is. When a man is not kissing your ass, trying to get with you to the point where he's just throwing himself at you, you think there's something wrong with him. I see a lot of women talk about, well, men should respect us being celibate. Okay, cool. But I've seen many cases where if that same man's a virgin, or he's not so sex obsessed, y'all have a problem with that. So I'm trying to understand, do you respect people having power? Or do you want your men and women to be powerless so you can manipulate and control? And I think this is where these discussions and these discussions, that's where it should be going to, but it stops short, because once you talk about power, all this other stuff don't matter. Because powerful people seek powerful people. Powerless people seek powerless people. And that's really the thing with the black community. We seek powerless people. See, I'll give you the Cyrus situation, Mr. Chu. Y'all right. That Chinese man shouldn't have been chasing that boy for over some water. And y'all right. That 14-year-old should not have a gun. Should not be carrying around a gun either. But you know why all these things are happening? Because y'all don't have no power in that group of black people don't have no power in that neighborhood. See, allegedly, Mr. Chu, this ain't the first time harassing black customers. This just ended with someone being deleted. This ain't the first time. My question, if I had the chance to talk, really, why is that man still in business over there? Why are you going into that store? Why are you shopping there? I don't care how he go out of business. I don't care what you do with that business. Y'all talk tough. I hear men say, we're going to fight for our women. We're going to fight for our children. But you can't get rid of this store. You in a neighborhood where your son got to carry a gun? And ladies, you with a man that have you in a neighborhood where your son got to carry a gun? You got pregnant by a guy where you got to live in a neighborhood where your 14-year-old got to carry a gun? You in a neighborhood where this Chinese man can think that you rob him and him and his whole family can come chase you out the store? Oh, this ain't the first time these Chinese men and women put hands on the kids and the women. Y'all remember years ago where that black woman and her child, the boy had stole something. And that Chinese man slapped the shit out of that woman. Now, the black men went over there, they protested, they did all that. And you had a black girl up there cussing them out for protesting so she couldn't get her stuff, her wig and all that. So what you telling me, you so powerless. You just have to have this hair stuff and anything. You have to go to a store who, if they did it to that black woman, what you think they're gonna do to you? And you're mad at the men for protesting. But here, men, here's the other thing. But this man felt so comfortable to slap a black woman with the child in hand, and y'all ain't no problem. Y'all ain't burn the motherfucker down or something. Or some way run that shit out of business. So one way or another. And y'all don't protect yourselves enough so where even if somehow that business went up in smoke, nobody's going to jail. Same thing I would say with Mr. Chu here. Why is that store still in business? I bet you that store is still in business right now. See, this is where when we talk about power, all this other dick and pussy conversation stop. Because your dick and your pussy is the least of your problems. If you can't even control your dick and your pussy, it don't even matter about this bigger stuff. And we talk about Carmelo Anthony. I think I'm saying the right name. Common afternoon. There should be no reason why he felt that he had to go to a school with a knife in his possession. Why is he in a school where he felt like he had to have a knife in possession? So clarity, I feel he's going to prison for murder unless his defense attorney do a masterful job. He's going to get murdered because everything about that. And I live in Texas. I know how Texas play. It will be a miracle he get off. Miracle. I guarantee you he's not going to get off because that's straight murder. What he did. Sorry, I hate. Somebody's going to sit up here and say, "Well, it's a racist." It don't matter because if he wasn't in, if it's a fist fight and he pulled a knife on the guy, that's deadly force. You cannot escalate a situation to deadly force unless deadly force is being applied to you. If you're having a fist fight, that's not grounds for that. Sorry, I'm just being honest with you. Unless you can prove that his life was truly in danger, good luck with that. Now, if the defense attorney get it right and he get off, beautiful. I don't see it happening in Texas. And I know Texas very well. I work in the prison system. I don't see it, but hey, if he get off, great. But my thing is, it shouldn't even got to this point. Why are you at a school? Why is this boy at a school where he got to carry a knife? You want to know why? Because the parents powerless. We gotta talk about powerlessness. It's a bad disease in the Black community. It's a very bad disease. You don't have no power over yourself, for one. Let's talk to the men right quick. Men, you can't even control your penis. I know that's cliche, but it's the truth. And I'm not talking about being abstinent. I'm not talking about being celibate. Because a lot of times that celibacy is fear. I'm going to keep it a buck. A little shout out to ladies. You know why men don't, part of the reason why they don't respect your celibacy? Because they know it's fear. You're not doing it because you want to save yourself. A lot of times you're doing it out of fear. And those guys know all they got to do is push a little bit and you fold. That's why they don't respect it. But let's get back to the men. Y'all don't know how to control your penis. And that don't mean abstinence. That don't mean celibacy. That don't mean that. It means you control where your penis go. You control who you give it to. You control who gets your baby. That's why I talk about control. You can't control your penis. You expecting a woman to protect her vagina, but you don't want to protect your penis. You don't want to control where you can look at this woman and say, you know what? Nah, I'm good. Nah, you problematic. If I put my dick in you, there's gonna be problems. I'm good. You don't have no dick control. Now you would be like, oh, he paid for pussy. Oh, he weak. No, it's about control. I control her getting my dick because I know that she don't want no baby from me, and I don't want a baby from her, and she ain't gonna have no disease because I don't want none. And guess what? She's gonna require a condom because she want to protect herself, and I want to protect me. And I'm not gonna be in no position where oops baby comes out. But see, a lot of y'all, you don't control your dick. You let a woman get up on you, ride you, and she say she wants some raw dick. You just say okie dokie. Nah, I'm like, nah, sis, I'm gonna do the raw dick like that. And I'm certainly ain't gonna nut in you. Sorry to be a little graphic, but I gotta be a little graphic. I gotta keep it 100. You don't control your dick. You don't know when she says no, it's time for you to get the fuck out of there. You don't let her rub on you. You don't let her do shit. It's time to go. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not playing that game. I've had women in the clubs rub up on me, and I'm just looking at them. What you want? And I'm looking at, okay, when's the punchline? What you want? What the deal is? If you ain't giving me no deal, I'm not about to rub on. I ain't touching you. Until I hear yes, it's a no, and it's a no on my end. But most of y'all can't do that. You don't have the control. You don't have the emotional control. Okay, she did reject you. Okay, bye. It's bye. There's no discussion. I'm not here to convince you of nothing. But you have dudes. You'll see a woman with a weave and all that. Well, she got to take the weave off and other thing. I said, wait a second. I said, homeboy. First of all, she got a weave. I'm not trying to change her. That ain't my job. Come to me when you ain't got that. If the first time I see you, you got the weave and shit on, that's the last time I see you. If I was against that. Now, me, I don't care about the weave that much. I care about how you maintain it. Because if you have the weave and all that, but you keep your hair clean and all that, your hygiene on point with the hair, I ain't got a problem with it. But if your hygiene is ass, I'm not about to deal with you. But some of y'all will still plow a chick with the bad hygiene, with the stinky vagina, and then want to talk about it afterwards. I've been in places where dudes just had to get the vagina. The vagina is stinking, and then while they banging, the whole room stinks. Like, what the fuck? Cleared out the whole room. But because he had to get the vagina. That's when I talk about dick control. You're powerless at that point. And then I tell you when you're powerless, you talk about some of you guys talk about these guys who are downing your women, insulting your women, online, insulting them, degrading them, telling they ain't shit. But yet, those guys don't get no punishment. Physical, financial, nothing. A lot of these I call them black male feminists, got Kevin Samuels' mouth, dick in their mouth all the time. Every chance they get, they got to compare it to Kevin. You got to compare it to the red pill. But yet, I ain't see nobody put hands on Kevin Samuels till he death. And guess what? He died with a woman. All that those oh, he might be gay comments. Yet he died with a woman. And before then, I ain't seen nobody touch him. Nobody put hands on this man. All y'all did was podcast after podcast. And even after this man, he's been dead for nearly 3 years. I still see y'all talking about Kevin. Kevin's in your mind, in your heart, and your soul, because without Kevin, you don't have no content. All these people was talking shit about Kevin. I ain't seen no hands thrown on Kevin. The only person I really seen confronting was Satan the Sinner. And that was only to take a picture with the man. Y'all ain't challenge him to fight. Y'all ain't go hit him. At least say what you want about some of the pro-blacks. One of them put hands on Tommy for saying what he said about black women. I ain't seen nobody else do it except for a black woman. And that's crazy because all these say Tommy's the worst. Tommy's the reason why black women the way they are. Tommy just ruined black women. But yeah, I ain't seen no hands put on them. Obsidian. Dragging black women, especially when they fat. Dragging them. Y'all actually seen this guy with the cane. I ain't seen no hands thrown on him. Why it took another red pill to expose him? Why did it take a black woman to get him off of YouTube? And you know why she was going after him? Because he was stalking her. And that was the second time he did it. But yet all you guys who got an issue with the red pill, y'all ain't do nothing to Obsidian. All you guys who claim that y'all defend black women, I ain't see no hands thrown on. I ain't see his money get cut. The only time his money got cut was when he was stalking a black woman. And let's keep it a buck, it shouldn't even got to that point. Because somebody should have checked him, either on these guys who want to defend black women or even the red pillars themselves. They should have checked Obsidian. Nah, we ain't gonna hang. Nah, bro, we don't do that stalking shit. Nah, we don't do that. We ain't gonna do that here. You're doing too much. You messing up our brand. Y'all clown, but y'all not really trying to stop him and keep him from the space. Maybe because you don't give a fuck. Or maybe just you don't really have no power. You're powerless. You have a guy on here, Jerome Bracy. I don't have no feel one way or the other about him. He's another one of these he's another DJ Torch in my opinion. Again, he talks, but there's no power behind it. There's no, well, I'm gonna hold black men, we're gonna correct black men. How? You ain't got no power. And you claim you love black women, but yet you left black women baby mamas and married a white woman. Your black love was so strong that you didn't even marry one. Same thing I said about Umar. How you have all this love for black women, but you don't marry them? And then now on top of that, you leave them baby mamas. And then one, at least in Sharon's case, the ultimate disrespect, you married a white woman. But you got black women championing him, talking to him, all that. But then when you confront him with it, oh, he don't have no value. Wait, what? He don't have no value. Then why you listen to him? Why you take his words to heart if he has no value? quite the conundrum. That mean what you telling me is that you really don't have power over yourself to stand on your square. And that's cool. That's cool. Hey, like, but you still got people who are fans of Will Locke, and well, Will Locke was up while he married is up there trying to court another woman, Robbie, spending dollars and dollars, not only out of his household, but also money that was donated by y'all to put in Robbie's pocket so he can get some pussy. And the fact y'all still listen to this dude with, you know, he's supporting Jasmine Crockett, even though we know it's just a grift. His defense of y'all was just nothing but a grift anyway. But y'all wanna support him. Cool. Shows me how much power you have over yourself. I could bring up Derrick Jackson, but I'm not gonna bring up that point. I could bring up Cam Newton. You want all these men to go after Cam Newton, but yet you still won't go after the women who also chose to have broken homes. But hey, that's how you feel about it. That's how you feel about it. But all it shows me you really have no power over yourself. That if given a chance, you will be another Cam Newton side chick, and you can say, "Oh no, not me." Yeah, yeah. That woman that Cam is baby mama number 6, I think, who's acting like his wife without being his wife. She said the truth that when that real money hit, what you really gonna do? And let's keep it a buck. Y'all got on Cheyenne Bryant. Y'all were bigging her up because she confronted him, but let's keep it a buck. Cheyenne Bryant can't say nothing to Cam Newton. You can try to shame him. You can embarrass him, but guess what? He's got another baby mama coming. He's gonna have another one. Just the same as Nick Cannon. He's gonna have another one. He's gonna have another baby mama. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? And just like with these black male feminists, like I always say, that I call it, the guys who champion for women but ain't doing a damn thing for you. What are you gonna do about them? Oh, we just gonna do podcasts after podcasts and after podcasts and do posts and comments, but really you ain't doing shit to them. You can't cut his money. You ain't gonna stop women for being baby mama number 12, 14, 100. You ain't got no power, son. And so that's why I don't even listen to these guys like that. You have no power. How you gonna correct somebody with no power? All you gonna do is talk. You just chatty little you just as chatty as the women. Powerless. Sitting there with your thumb in your mouth and crying and bitching. Cause these guys can do whatever the fuck they want to do. And ain't nothing you can do about yourself. Sit there and yell and scream. Just like how your baby daddy's probably doing the same shit. But guess what? You were powerless then. Some of you women were powerless then because you wanted marriage. You wanted not to be a baby mama. But all he had to do was whisper sweet words and you fell like a chair. Some of you were fucking celibate, but all he had to do was sweet words. Not actions, sweet words. Not real actions, that taking you on a date and nothing like that. Friends can do that. Take you out to dinner. Friends can do that. Taking you to a movie, a friend can do that. I'm talking about above that. You folded like a chair. And then what the killer is, you'll be around the guy who don't respect your celibacy, but the guy who probably more likely would would celebrate it, you don't even want to be around him because you think that's weird. If he was a fucking virgin for hadn't been in a relationship or anything, y'all think that's weird. You think there's something wrong with him. Oh, he gay. But that's probably the one you probably should be with it because he will be the most respectful of your celibacy. But in reality, because you're so powerless, you use celibacy as a manipulation. That's why the guys think that you're using it. It's really manipulation because you're so powerless to stand on your square to say, listen, I'm not going to be with you unless you marry me. And stand on it. I'll give you time, but there's a time limit. And because a lot of women can't do it, then you want the men to be, well, why don't you be his brother's keeper? Man, I ain't got no power over that man. Because guess what? Let's say I do go after him. You're still going to that guy anyway. And you're going to allow him to treat you however he want. Even if I beat his ass, you still going to go back. It's what you do. Ladies, that's what you do. You're powerless. You can't control your vagina and you can't control your emotions. You don't stay on your square. That's not that I can't fix that for you, son. I can't fix that for you, sis. That's nothing I can fix. Because if you can't stay on your square, what is the point of me even going to him? Because like I even said before, if you don't respect yourself, most people are not going most people are going to disrespect you just because you don't respect yourself. You don't have no power over yourself. So why should they have? So they're going to exert their power over you. They're going to make you give up your celibacy. They're going to make you not want to be have sex before marriage. And let's face it, y'all don't get, even if he do respect your celibacy, you don't give him nothing worth sticking around besides sex. That's the other thing that you don't have no power, you don't have no influence to where he's not even going to think about the sex. It's like a cherry on top of the relationship. You don't have no power and influence to even do that. The women in the even the OnlyFans and cosplaying and all that, the ones with the biggest amount of money give an experience to the guys. That's how they make the money. It's not just the sex. It's the experience. If you're not giving no experience, all you got, all your bargaining chip is sex. And let's face it, some of y'all pussies is not even worth that because y'all give it up on a dime. So why should they respect celibacy? Why should they respect you not giving it up? You don't have a lot of y'all don't have no conditions for your vagina for the guy you like. So why should I really care? Guys, y'all ain't no better because you'll see a woman talking about I want to be celibate, I want to be celibate, but they sending you pussy pics. And then so you see that instead of like, that's a big red flag, maybe I need to not deal with her. You'll try to see, maybe I could crack that code, not knowing it's a trap. I'm gonna give y'all this quick story right quick. I was saving it for my erotica story, but since I'm not gonna get into that, but I'm gonna talk about what we talked about, consent. And this lady who, dominatrix, she pegs guys and all that. She gave this crazy story. There was this guy who was, he had his partner. Now, what this woman would do, this is wild shit, right? This woman would ride you, penetrate, and she would tell you to tell the guy to stop. Now, what she would do was grind on you, do all this, but she never said yes. Here's the killer. If the guy tried to penetrate her or any hands, penis, whatever, she'll say you raped her. Yeah, I'm not worried about monetization on this point. It was a game that she played. Now, that's a game that she was playing, but the men didn't know all this. Now, I said, well, why shouldn't guys to go tell them? You know what the woman told me? You don't say nothing. Mind your business. My other question is why that guy didn't leave her? Because me, I'm like, we doing that kind of shit. We ain't doing that. And then it reminded me of the woman that I was trying to date at this one time. She would do the same thing. I'm be celibate. I'm celibate. But then pussy pics, titty pics, talking about threesomes, all the threesomes and shit she had. And so now me being stupid, I should have just cut the thing up, but I'm an idiot. So we went, had breakfast. I took her back to her house. Now she get in the bed and cover herself up. Now, you think I try to do anything with her then? No. She wanted me to probably grape her, so try to take the vagina, this little game, so she can claim that I raped her. That's what I believe. But because I have control over myself, power of my penis, I'm not doing that. And the thing that made me even stop talking to her was how she mistreated her own daughter. Some of you guys, you'll see this woman mistreating their daughter, but you're just gonna sit there. You know why? Because you're powerless. You can't control your penis. It's the pussy good, right? Or you ain't got nowhere to live, or you just gotta sit there and eat that. But then you want to worry about what the boy's going through. You'll see a boy getting mistreated by the mother. You ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Hell, you won't even try to help that boy get with his father. If he even in his life. But you just sit there and let her beat the kid and then have a baby with it. And what you think you're gonna do to your kid? See, and it loops back around to this boy Cyrus, to this Carmelo Anthony here. Because a lot of y'all can't control your penis. You can't control your vagina. You can't control your emotions. You have broken homes where your son or daughter are vulnerable. They're vulnerable to the other parent. They're vulnerable to outside forces. And see, in these trials, y'all are leaving it up to 12 people. 12 people who may have a bias towards the color of your skin. Let's just say if Cyrus attacked Mr. Chu, do you really think he would get off? Do you think he'd be serving 10 to 12? But because you have no power, you're begging 12 people to take your side when it should never came to that point. But because y'all can't control your penis, you can't control your vagina, you can't control your emotions. Because goddamn, both sides of y'all screaming and howling to the rooftops. Hold these men accountable. Hold these women accountable. The dusties, these hoes. And yet, all you talk to in your real life, I know all you talk about is these dusties and these hoes. You talk about how these men are inmates and how these black men, all of them going to prison, but then you rally behind a guy who acts like a fucking inmate every time I see him. And you think that's a powerful man. You rally behind a woman who acts like the fucking hoes that y'all talk about, and you don't see a problem. Y'all fucking powerless. Y'all will support a black man who talking, not doing talking. He talks about white supremacy, but not doing anything about white supremacy. And then here's what the killer part. Another guy will come around, black guy, who's exposing every other black guy who's doing fucked up shit, who's talking about the community but ain't doing shit for them. But then you get mad at the guy who's trying to expose this other guy who has these false schools. And guess who's going to be the one that's going to those schools? Black women. Because you say black women is the most educated of the group. So that means they seek education more than black men. Who you think going to be a victim of those false schools? But some of you guys don't care because he's saying good stuff. Okay. Okay, that's cool. And this whole thing with Cheyenne Bryant. Now everybody's focusing on Cheyenne Bryant, but yet you as a content creator still worry about Kevin Samuels, who is dead. Been dead almost 3 years. You still worry about Kevin. That's how much power you have. You're so powerless. You let a dead man influence your life. Your content is focused around a man who's been dead for 3 years. That's how much power he had over you. You have no power over him because you didn't affect nothing he had in life. He was about to have a show. And those same black women that you trying to protect will went on that show. They will watch that shit. He was in Atlanta. Show, if I could be wrong, it's produced by a black woman. They had him on the show. Shows you how much power you have. Those women don't even respect you like that. Now, I know y'all might be thinking I'm rambling, but I'm trying to prove a point here. The reason why Cyrus was killed and that guy got away with it because y'all don't have no power. You're in a neighborhood where you couldn't even get rid of that Chinese man. Why? Because all you worry about is your dick and the pussy. You still on basic dating. You still worrying about, you still trying to get men, black men, to respect your celibacy instead of being around a man who would respect your celibacy. You're around women who, hey, I want to fuck raw. Okay, I want to fuck raw. Okay, we'll do that. But just don't get me pregnant. Well, I don't know about that. You have so little control that you just let a woman, you impregnate a woman who you don't even fucking know can't take care of the child, who will put your child in a situation where he had to walk around the neighborhood with a gun. And you ain't about to do a damn thing about it. Or she's beating the kid and harming the kid and beating the kid, killing the kid, and when we see you, you up here crying, uh, crying your heart out because she killed your kid. But let's keep it a buck. You didn't give a fuck then, because why is your kid with this crazy chick in the first place? Why is your child getting beat on not by just her, but her boyfriend, and you just sitting there with your thumb up your ass? You waiting for the court. I'm asking you, black man, and you wonder why your son don't respect you. You wonder why your daughter don't respect you. And ladies, you ain't exempt either because they don't respect y'all either. Why should I respect you? You don't respect yourself enough to not to deal with this dumb fuck. You have this dumb fuck as my dad, and he ain't the only one. There's other dudes that are dumb fucks that you let in your life, and around my life, and you expect me to respect you? You expect your daughter to respect you? See, the thing about this gender war is not just a gender war; it's a civil war. It's black man on black man, black women against black women, older versus younger. Because all of y'all have skeletons in the closet and you want to hide them so bad. You want to blame the men for your dirt, women. And men, you want to blame the women for your dirt. Instead of saying, my bad. And I'm thinking about this Alba situation, how you got baby mamas everywhere. You had a woman abort your baby, you flipping the fuck out, but you could have prevented all of that by just being upfront. Which I don't now he said that I don't want to be a baby daddy and I don't want to be a single father. But yet he didn't do anything to protect himself from being either of those two, which means more likely he was probably lying. He didn't give a fuck. Now, myself, I'm not a baby daddy. I had no children under wedlock. I don't even have children. And even when I was trying, I was married. And I was so concerned about my wife passing away because my wife had congestive heart failure. And one of the biggest things about congestive heart failure is that you cannot be stressed. And so, and one of the biggest stresses in a woman's life is pregnancy. So her cardiologist said, no, it may not be the best thing for you to have children. I took that to heart. So I was making sure my damnness not to get her pregnant for a long time. That was one of the issues in our marriage. Some of you guys are so powerless that even when you see that your woman or the woman that you care about is putting themselves in danger and you won't even step in. You see these women going out of control and you won't even step in. Righteously. And you have the power to influence the situation. Some of y'all trying to get involved and you ain't got no fucking power. Why should she listen to you? Why should she respect you? You have no fucking power. But then want to talk about you're gonna hold these women accountable. What? How? What? What? By yelling? We're gonna hold these men accountable. What? By yelling? I mean that Tony Gaskin thing with Coach Greg Adams. Yeah, I'm gonna beat you. You're gonna threaten the man, and then challenge his manhood, but you ain't gonna confront him. You need Donald Trump to do it because you have an issue with the passport bros. You need Trump to do it, and you wonder why I say he's a bitch ass. You powerless, and yet you know how many people were coming on my comment section talking about, well, he raised his children. He raised his children. And that doesn't take away from him being a bitch. It doesn't take away from being powerless that you need the whole white man to do something that you say you want to do. You challenge a whole group of men calling them gay and shit, but you won't even confront that man in person. You say that much of a threat to the youth, but you ain't willing to put hands on the man. But hey, what do I know? I just look at all these people. They talk about what they want to do for the community. How you want to change the community? We need families. We need all this. Well, motherfucker, you ain't got no goddamn power. You don't have a power over your environment to make people want to have families. Why you think these men don't want to get married? Why these women don't want to get married? Why they don't want to have children? Why they wait later and later and later in life now? Except the ones who just goddamn dumb as fuck. Can't control their dick and their pussy. You don't create an environment. You have no power to create an environment that they will want to have children in. To all these men, especially you black male feminists who want to change how these men are, you won't even create an environment that these boys would not be thinking about these women all the time, thinking that sex is their power is through their dick. You don't give them an environment to change themselves. You're just talking. And you wonder why the red pill is winning. So y'all say. You ain't got no goddamn power. You have no influence. You have nothing. And you give them nothing. One of the YouTubers that I really do like is Jason Wilson. Because At the end of the day, he holds men accountable, and he's putting in the work to correct these boys so they don't be powerless in this world. How many of these YouTubers are doing that? How many of these men who cry about the Nick Cannons and the Cam Newtons, the Obsidians, the Kevin Samuels of the world, how many of them are actually doing that? How many of them doing that? Except talking. Oh, you clown a red pillar. He's the bottom of the totem pole. He at the bottom. Just like how these white dudes rallying up black people. They at the bottom. They ain't got no damn power. You're powerless. You really wanna help these young men? Give them some jobs. Give them to where they're not focused on the women so much. But you can't even do that because you're too focused on the women. And that's why they don't respect you. You hyper focused on the women. Hell, y'all so hyper focused on the women, you don't even respect their autonomy. When these women don't do what you want them to do, when they don't bang the men that you say they should bang, a lot of times it's white men, you calling them bitches and hoes, mammies, disrespecting them. But I forgot. Ain't you the protector? You so powerless that you can't even stand on your square to be powerful? That you said you give him grace? You can't even do that. But what do I know? I just work with black women on a daily basis. Majority of my coworkers been black. Been around black women all my life. Dated nothing but black. Married black. Think the most beautiful woman in the world is a black woman. But see, I didn't got to say that 24/7, 365. I ain't got to go around and call them fucking queens. Hey, queen. Hey, goddess. No, I treat them like it by showing them that respect. Because that's what I was taught by a black woman, by black women who had respect for themselves, who had power over them damn selves. So that's why I have power over myself. A lot of you women are powerless. So your son and daughter are powerless. And you get with men who are just as powerless. You want to be self-defined. Be around men who will celebrate it, but you don't. You be around dudes who barely have control of their penis as it is. Because if he had control over his penis, why would he even date you? And dudes, I gotta look at you. Why are you worried about a woman who's celibate? If she's celibate and she don't want to deal with you, cool. I'd be like, hey, go about your business. Or, okay, you want to wait till I says to have sex with me? No problem. But I'm not waiting. So I'm gonna be banging these women. I ain't gonna let you know. You ain't gotta know their names, nothing like that. That's how that gonna go. You wanna wait? Cool. I'm not waiting with you. She'll probably say no. Oh well, this is the test. When you ain't gotta test me, sis. Either you believe that I'm gonna do it or not. And if you can't, move on. You ain't gotta test me. You don't trust me, move on. Same with the dudes. If she ain't giving up what you need, hey, move on. I don't believe in convincing a woman shit. I don't convince nobody. I don't convince a woman shit. I'm so powerful in myself that you either gonna see it or you don't. And if you don't, move on. No problem. I didn't try to convince my ex-wife to be with me. I showed her who I was. I showed her who I was, and then she got with me. She put her demands on the table. I put my demands on the table. And guess what? We went with it. Not because we begged each other. She never begged me to be with her, at least in the beginning. Now, when I was leaving her, she was, but that was after we've been together for a while. But before that, she wasn't begging me to be with her, and I wasn't begging her to be with me. I didn't have to, oh, let me give her a gift. Let me buy a Happy Meal or let me do this. No, you're bribing. That means you ain't got no power. You have no influence. You are so weak that you got to bribe a bitch. But then you got a problem with tricks. What we talking about here? And you ladies ain't no different because you got to bribe a dude with your vagina or the promise of vagina to get him to do shit for you. And you wonder why you're powerless. And you wonder why your kids are in the situation they in where they got to carry a gun around or they got to carry a knife around. Because you ain't got them in a position where they can just be kids. Because you too busy worrying about pussy and vagina. You too worried about your vagina. You too worried about your dick. You too worried about your feelings. Instead of actually being with people with actual power. You know, and this is why, like, I follow certain people like Cell and Raw B, My Chaos Brew, whichever name she's going by in these days. Because at the end of the day, I can feel that they are powerful people in their own right. And they're not trying to beg people to like them. Right. And they're not on this gender war to the point where they excuse behaviors for men and women. Because at the end of the day, when y'all just excuse behaviors on both sides because you like the person, what you really say, you just powerless. That you don't want to hold them accountable. You don't want to be like, I gotta turn that shit off. Oh, okay. Let me get back to you when you're actually doing something to help me. Because you don't want to do anything to help yourselves. And that's why your children are walking around with knives, with guns, and still getting either they getting murked or they going to trial. And you can't really protect them. You can't even protect these girls from these older men. Let's keep it a buck, because she may be fast, she may not be, but the fact that they're in a position where older men can get with them, well, these young men too, because you have them in a situation where older women could touch these boys, and y'all ain't doing a goddamn thing about it, because secretly you want these young men to get their dick, to be addicted to women vagina. They easily are to manipulate. You want these girls to be sexually active so they can't control their vagina and they can't control their emotions. so they can be easily controlled and manipulated. Y'all want them younger than younger because it ain't about relationships. Least back in the day, least back in the day when they were marrying young girls off, keyword marriage. It's about marriage. Some of you guys who claim y'all want younger women, you ain't thinking about marriage. You want easy pussy for you to control. And you women ain't no different. You want easy dick to control. Okay, take the easy dick. Take the easy pussy. But guess what? Because you're so worried about that and your partner don't have no power, they don't have no economic power, you're in a neighborhood where your son or your daughter got to carry a gun or a knife. And that still don't protect them because guess what? Chinese man can run up, smack the shit out of her, chase him down and put pew pew him. Or chase her down and pew pew her. And what you gonna do about it? Beg the court to do something about it. Or your son is with a foot in his neck crying mama and nobody's there to help him. But they sure will come out after the fact and tear up shit. Oh wait, it's a black business that you tearing up. Y'all still won't y'all still won't touch that Chinese business or that white business. Y'all talk about getting with white men, but you won't talk about the racism that they experience, or the fact that some of these women and men, by the way, be treated like fetishes. But that requires power over yourself. But y'all don't want that. You want, in a weird way, both of y'all want the other side to control you. You want the other side to have some semblance of control because then you can blame them. You can blame them for ruining your celibacy. You can blame them because you wanted marriage and he didn't. You could blame them because if she had a baby or she got rid of your baby and made you look like a fool. And now exposing how fucked up you really are as a person. See, the thing is, y'all forget this exposure culture. And if you think people ain't recording you, you bugging. That's why I don't deal with nobody online. Because everybody's recording and they waiting. They're waiting to expose you. But see, the thing with me is I stay on my square. So that ain't gonna happen. And guess what? I ain't no 6-figure guy. I'm a 5-figure guy. I do Uber on the weekend. I don't have to pretend. And when I do say stuff, I actually done it. I told the love of my life, I'm leaving you. With no hesitation. I've told women that rub up on me, nah, I'm good. I had a woman who was going to offer her body for $125. I told her, no, I'm good. I don't do that. Not my job. I've had women offer themselves, offer sisters to me. I had the job. I'm like, no. And then when I ask, What are you doing to satisfy your needs? I said, no, I got that. Because, again, get control. I'm not celibate. I'm not abstinent. Not an incel. I handle my needs, but I control how I do it. But see, that guy can't be manipulated. And that's why a lot of women don't like that. They want to have a guy to blame. That's why these conversations about the Pookies, the Ray Ray, the Dusties, it's all manipulation to give somebody else the blame instead of their own. And you guys, the hoes, all these hoes and these gold diggers, it's all manipulation to take the blame away from you. Because in reality, both of y'all are fucking powerless. And you don't want to admit that powerlessness is the biggest problem in the Black community. Y'all are so powerless that you let anything happen. You don't protect yourselves. The men are fighting the men. Yes, competition is great. I can understand you at the club, you don't want a sausage fest. But when we talk about real life situations where these men are killing your sons, that you don't want a sausage fest, got to go out the window. Worrying about the women all day, they got to go out the window. We got to protect ourselves. And if you can't do that, then you don't really want real power. Same with the women, like these dusties and shit. That shit is not as important. Y'all getting yourselves killed because you can't control your vagina. You can't control your emotions. You don't know when to fucking leave, and you don't even know when to not even deal with them. Yes, some of y'all are starting to wake up, but it ain't enough. It's not enough. Because eventually y'all break down anyway. Y'all can keep saying, oh, we're avoiding men. We're going to descend to men. But you're championing a guy? Instead of championing yourselves? Some of y'all are marrying gay guys? But I thought we were supposed to be descending men here. I'm trying to understand. Shouldn't you be with women if that's the case? Even just for companionship, but y'all don't really like each other like that. And I've been saying that. Y'all ain't got no sisterhood like that. You have a common enemy, but not common goals. And that's been seen on these YouTube streets time and time again. Hell, I mean, look at what happened. Look what's happening with Cheyenne Bryant. Soon as she said, hey, some of you women are out of pocket. Now we don't. She not a doctor? Wait a minute. She wasn't a doctor then. What changed? Hell, Sierra, when she was like, hey, y'all, some of y'all actions keeping y'all from being married. What you talking about? You were messing with these dudes. You just got lucky with you just got lucky. Sorry, my brain's getting. You just got lucky. Then she talking about single women. What are you talking about? You married. You married to Russell Wilson. What are you talking about married? Y'all turn on each other in the hat. Let Meg say something about y'all need to say something that about how y'all act. Y'all turn on Meg too. Keep it a buck. I know half y'all that a lot of y'all who say we'll cheat on the men. I know y'all ain't cheat on your man. Because y'all were cheating on your man anyway before Meg did it. Before with Meg and Clay. But guess what? You still take the cheater back. Meg did it. Meg take the cheater. Clay Thompson was exposed as a cheater. And guess what? She still chose him. And some other woman gonna choose him again. Nick Cannon again, still gonna have another baby mama. Cam Newton gonna have another baby mama. Future probably gonna have another baby mama. Y'all ain't about to do shit. And Lord Harvey's gonna find her a rich dude. Y'all not really doing anything. Y'all powerless. Y'all can't control y'all damn selves. What y'all gonna do? And that's why your son and daughter are not safe in the neighborhoods. Because it starts with you. Who you deal with. Controlling your dick. Controlling your emotions. Controlling your vagina. I'm not even saying being celibate. Me personally, if you're celibate because that's truly what you want to do, I have no problem with you. But if you're doing it out of fear, it's a wash. Same with the guys. If you are being abstinent because that's what you truly want to do, I have no problem with it. But if you're doing it out of fear, or because you can't really get women like that, it's a wash. Just like I said about religion. I remember one of my friends, is a white dude. We had this discussion about God and everything. And he was like, why did you say, why did you don't go to church and all this? And aren't you afraid of going to hell? I told him, I will never go into a religion in fear. I'm going to go into a religion because I want to. I don't play with God. I do believe in God, but I don't play with God. I don't play with religions because I am a reflection of that religion. And if you ain't following it, you ruin the reputation of the religion. And which ultimately, if you believe the religion comes from God, you ruin the reputation of God. How are we going to sit here talking about virgins and celibacy and all this and abstaining from marriage, but y'all have no problem teasing each other because that's also part of marriage. That's also part of the package. Y'all talk about these women being virgin with, you're supposed to only get with the virgin when you're married. Same with you women, you ain't supposed to give it up till you're married. But at the same time, you ain't supposed to tease nobody and do all that dumb shit either. You don't lead nobody to temptation. That's also in the Bible too. But we read what we want to read. Same with submission. Submission is slavery. Submission is not slavery. It's just following a higher authority. That's all submission is. It's not slavery. Slavery is submission by force. Submission just on your own, it's not slavery. You got and domination is controlling somebody. But see, even with those, people have to give it up. You're not giving up power when you're submitting. What you're giving up, you see their power and you see that they can lead you somewhere. Y'all got submission, domination all wrong. Everybody has power in that relationship. If you feel that you're powerless, that's a you problem. If you you're so dominant that you don't even take the person who's submitting you into consideration what they do, that you even you have to take their concerns. It has to be equal, if not a little bit more than yours. You're not a dominate. You're not a dominator. You're a dictator. You're not worthy of leadership because you are powerless. How you gonna have power over somebody you powerless in your own self? How you gonna submit to somebody you can't even submit to your own damn self? Y'all have the shit so backwards in these relationships that yes, there should be a separation. Yes, some of you motherfuckers don't need to be in a relationship. Some of you don't need to be children. You want to abort black male babies? Good ladies, go do that. I don't want no more weak boys out here who being slaughtered. I don't want no more weak girls out here either. Abort all of them. I don't give a fuck. I don't have a problem with abortion if that's what you want to do. Save us the trouble. Save us from having these weak ass boys and girls out here. Cause you ain't about to do shit about it. Neither side going to, I don't know why you worrying about abortion. Y'all ain't taking care of these kids. Because if a boy gotta carry around a gun in the neighborhood, a boy gotta go to school with a knife, you ain't doing your fucking job. You ain't doing your job. Your powerlessness is spread to your children, where they have to carry weapons, where they getting chased around, where they getting beat up. And one couldn't even get his weapon to fire back. The other stabbed the boy before anything happened. Now, one got carried by 6, the other one getting judged by 12. And these parents just sitting there and nothing they can do. That's why these pussy dick conversations don't mean anything. It's fun to listen to. It's fun to have the discussion, but in the end, you ain't really doing shit. You still go back to dick and pussy. You still go back to it. And the only reason why you go back to that, because you ain't got no power in your lives. You don't stand on your square. You can't control your dick. You can't control your pussy. You can't control your emotions. You can't. So if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your spiritual. You can't control your mental. What you gonna do? Except be on here crying, listening to a goofball talking about protect black women, but ain't doing shit to do it. You listen to a woman protect black men, ain't doing shit to do it. Talking about build communities, but they ain't got no system in place for these people to have families. All they doing is yelling and screaming at each other. And then crying about people who actually have some power. What won't he have a nuclear family? He don't want to. What the fuck you gonna do about it? Why she won't spread? Why she spreading her legs for that guy? Cause she want to. What the fuck you gonna do about it? He's insulting black women. Okay, what the fuck you gonna do about it? She's downing black men. What the fuck you gonna do about it? These white people keep fucking with us. What the fuck you gonna do about it? Because if you're gonna keep crying about it, all that shows me you're powerless. See, I don't cry. I didn't cry about Chud the Builder, whatever the fuck. Who the fuck that goofy nigga is? And the fact he got you that triggered, this fucking weirdo fuck, who gives a damn? Hell, Charlie Kirk, let's put that in there. He got you triggered. Who the fuck is this dude? He said stuff about black people, and who gives a fuck? Fuck him. What he gonna do? Well, nothing now. Oops. Yikes. I ain't about to open that rabbit hole. So what are we really talking about here? Look, I'm like I said, this discussions on here. And the shit that y'all say y'all put yourselves in, I'm like, I'm sorry. I wish I could feel empathy for you. I feel it to a degree, but then I gotta look at you, both of y'all. You waited 10 years for marriage? I gotta look at you. You lying, saying you got a low sperm count and getting these women pregnant and then either dipping or making them get an abortion? That's a you problem. Y'all some weak ass people. Sorry. She trapped me. She a 16-year-old convinced me she was 21. Huh? And you put a baby in there? And she was mentally stronger than me. You said that as a grown ass man? It's like y'all wear powerlessness as a badge of honor. Both of y'all, both the men and the women. Y'all wear it like a badge of honor, and then you wonder why you ain't respected. Not just with each other, but other groups. You're not respected because you wear powerlessness as a badge of honor. I want to be powerless. I want people who are powerless around me. And you wonder why you got a boy got to run around with a gun and still got murked. You got a boy had to have a knife at school, now he on trial. Why you had a dude with his foot on his neck crying for mama and y'all gonna go burn the city down for him. But yet a black boy in Minnesota with a toy gun get murked by a cop, and you didn't burn this country down. I don't get it. I I get it. The sad thing, I do get it, and you know what? I'm not even gonna say I don't get it. I do get it, but I keep trying to. I try. I try as hard as I can not to believe it, but I have to believe it because I see it every fucking day. Y'all complain about the men who disrespect black women, but you don't do nothing about them. You talk. You complain about the women who disrespect black men, but you do nothing about it. You talking. Y'all will spend hours. I know I'm being a little hypocritical because it's over an hour. It's an hour and a half, but I got to put this out. Y'all spend more time complaining about each other, but actually not doing anything. So at the very least, either you get the most powerful of each other or powerful people on the other side, or just be powerful in your own right. I got women talking about they got to be mean and heartless for some respect. No, that's corny as fuck. You got men who want to pretend that they players and pimps. Really, they are, I would say, romantic at heart, but you so scared that y'all gonna get taken advantage of instead of being stern and just losing that person that you would rather play a role and kill yourselves even further than actually be that person. But hey, you don't have to do none of that. But then you have a neighborhood where a boy got to carry a gun and a boy had to go to school with a knife. One's murked, the other's on trial. And guess what? If that one is found guilty, I'm eventually gonna have to end up seeing him because I'll probably be the one taking him from one unit to the other. I see way too many people being so powerless and want to blame everybody else. Hmm. And I'm like, man, like well, can't say where. I'm just like, I see why white people do y'all the way they do. I see. You have no power. And y'all ain't trying to. It is what it is. Y'all don't y'all don't have no power in yourselves. So you don't respect yourself. And why would I respect you? So why don't white people respect you? Y'all easy targets because you just easy targets. Your kids are easier targets because you're easy targets. Like I said, like when Malcolm X said the most unprotected woman in the world is the black woman. Yeah, because the most powerless man in the world is the black man. And the black man don't want to go for power. And the black woman don't get with the powerful black men. They want them powerless. They don't want them with emotional control. They don't want them with dick control because you can't manipulate. You can't use celibacy as a manipulation. You can't use your pussy as a manipulation. You can't use your emotion as a manipulator. You can't do that with a powerful man. You do it with a weak man. You gotta do it with the gay man because let's keep it a bug. That's why, like, I don't respect gay men talking about relationships because their relationships are more chaotic than straight relationships. So why should I respect what they saying? like I said on one of the live streams, shout out to DJ Genesis. It's not just the message; it's the messenger. The message might be fine, but if the messenger's fucked up, why I'm listening to him for? Sorry, sorry. It's not just the message; it's the messenger, and that's the thing. Even with the whole celibacy, all this different relationships y'all want to have, it's not just the message; it's the messenger. The messenger is trash. The message is gonna be trash. It's just like you have a person being a Christian, but yet they doing the same thing sinners do, and then some of y'all give them a pass. When y'all get the time, listen to "The Last Jesus" by Kurt Franklin. That's one of the most important songs that I ever listened to, because if they don't, it, and the whole thing is about how they gonna see Jesus. Because if you're a representation of Jesus and you ain't living up to what he's doing, why the fuck would they believe in Jesus? And you can apply that to any lifestyle that y'all trying to promote, any positions that y'all trying to take. If you ain't living it and you don't have the power to live in whatever ideology, religion that you in, why the fuck should I care what you talking about? I don't care if you red pill, black pill, divester, SYSBM, um, BWE, men's rights. I can't take you seriously if you don't even have power over yourself. I can't take you seriously that you say you done with black men, but you still would hang with not only flirt with black men, but you hang with the fucking a fucking inmate. The only difference is he's not in the prison. Why would I listen to you? Why would I listen to a dude who talking about he don't want fat chicks, but he with a fat chick? I don't want a woman with kids, but you with a woman with kids. Not only that, a woman with kids who don't she don't even take care of them. But then you want to get mad at the women and the men and like, no, be mad at yourselves because again, y'all powerless within yourselves, and that powerlessness spreads to your children. That's why your son got to go walk around with a gun. Your your son got to go to school with a knife. Your daughter got to walk around with pepper spray and mace, and still got to deal with harassment. Your son still got to deal with harassment from his own people, not to mention the foreign people. They ain't safe. You don't create an environment for it to be safe because you're powerless in your own selves. You can't control your dick. You can't control your pussy. You can't control your emotions. You can't stand on shit. So what why should you be respected? Why should you be honored? You let somebody call you a queen and he ain't giving you no gifts or nothing. You let a woman call you a king, but she ain't showing you no worship like that. But hey, I'm just saying, man, y'all really want to stop these issues with your sons getting murked or being having to carry weapons in the neighborhood? It's ultimately it's gonna start with y'all. And this worrying about the Nick Cannons and the Cam Newtons of the world, guess what? Those kids are probably safer than you. I know those kids are safer than your kids. They still gonna have money for them kids. Where your money at? Wait a minute, you mad at Cam Newton not marrying a girl? Where your wife at? Why you talk more about Cam Newton's girlfriend, but you don't talk about your wife? You talk about a woman on YouTube more than your own damn wife. I ask these questions. Man, you worry about what these niggas doing on here. He ain't got no black men in the trash. Okay, where your white man at? Where your white man at? If you talking about divesting and all that, exploring your options, well, ma'am, let me see you explore your options. You ain't gotta show his face. Well, I need to see you dating. If you gonna promote it, or you promoting these women doing better, well, I need to see you doing better. You still in the same position. I've seen you for years on here. You ain't doing better. You're in the same position, talking about the same group of men. What we're talking about here? Sorry, I don't respect a lot of y'all on YouTube, and I don't respect a lot of y'all in just in general social media because you're in the same position, and we're arguing with each other over the same topic: black boys getting murked unjustly, and we will be in the same position again, or the girls getting killed off either by their boyfriends, guys they know, or people outside our race. We're gonna have the same discussion, and we're gonna keep blaming each other instead of looking at the real elephant in the room. Powerlessness. It's a disease in the black community, and it's killing us. And the thing of it is, the cure is really power within yourself. That means you might have to leave homeboy. Yeah, he looked good, but you want to continue your journey of celibacy, you might have to leave him alone. And if you still want to date him, you may have to put yourself in a position where you the temptation wouldn't even be there. If you're a guy who wants to have raw dog sex without dropping babies everywhere, because at the end of the day, that's still your legacy. Whether you take care of it or not, that's your legacy. That's your blood. So you might want to take steps to where maybe she might want to get the abortion or put some condoms on or get a vasectomy. I don't know what you want to do, but y'all got to control yourselves. Y'all got to have power over yourselves. Otherwise, you're going to be in a neighborhood where your son got to carry a gun. Your son got to go to school with a knife. Your daughter got to probably have to have a weapon on the too. And he's going to be harassed. He and she going to be harassed by either someone that look like them or someone that don't look like them. And they may not survive the encounter. and you'll be on TV crying. Woe is me. Where's the justice system? This place is racist. Yeah, okay. America's racist. Fair enough. But what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do to mitigate it? Yeah, I can say what you want about LeBron James, but guess what? LeBron James made it where his son get a big payday. I'm pretty sure LeBron's sons ain't worried about getting murdered. I'm sure LeBron's sons ain't worrying about having to carry a gun and a knife. But LeBron put in the work to do that. Say what you want, how his effect on the NBA is, but guess what? He used the NBA to make a better life for himself. You ain't gotta like it, but you gotta respect it. Meanwhile, a lot of y'all still worry about if your kid coming home, and that's why he gotta get a gun. He gotta have a knife, or your daughter have a gun or a knife, and they can't be their true selves because they feel powerless because you're powerless. You still on dick pussy conversations. Meanwhile, the other groups of people, they passed that. They use dick and pussy to control you. But hey, you ain't gotta listen to me. Just a black man. I know. You're a black man. You ain't got no kids. You're right. You ain't got no woman. You're right. You're right on all the fronts. But the difference is those are decisions I made and I own them. Because yes, I didn't have no children. Because I didn't want no children out of wedlock. And I will never have no children out of wedlock. I will never have a baby out of wedlock. And I will never put myself in a position where I got to worry if this woman is going to abort my children because I'm not going to be a woman who do shit like that. I'm not going to worry about if I'm being abstinent and I got to worry about this woman not respecting me because I wouldn't be with a woman like that. But at the same time, if she's celibate and she says she's celibate, I'm not going to convince you not to be celibate. No, you want to be celibate? Cool. Now, will I be celibate with you? This is a different matter. I ain't going to be celibate with you. That's my decision. So at the end of the day, two of y'all be powerful in your own selves and be able to stand in your square and be able to walk away when the shit don't fit what you need to do. The children that you have will never be safe. Your daughter's gonna have to worry about these weird old men. Your son's gonna worry about getting murked. Your daughter gotta worry about getting murked. Your son gotta be worried about these weird old women. Because y'all don't protect yourselves, y'all don't the men don't think about protecting themselves as a group. They're too busy in competition. And the women, same thing. Y'all still in competition. They don't even have to be a man around. Y'all still going at each other. So till y'all have power within yourselves and start with self and then it spread out there, be with powerful people. not just people who talk. You're in danger. Your children are in danger. And these other groups ain't gonna stop because they can and they will. Because at the end of the day, they made sure they powerful in some respect. Well, they have more power than you, and that's all really that matters. You have to have power, and if you don't have power over yourself, you're worthless. You are worthless. You're worthless to any man and any woman. You're worthless to your community. You're worthless to the world. And everybody gonna view you as worthless and treat you as such. Like I said, people, it's not that people look for people who are weak. Some people just use you and abuse you because you don't stand for yourself. You don't have those, you don't stand on your square. You don't fight for yourself. You give them no choice but to use you and abuse you. Just you don't give them no option. But hey, y'all can take with this what you will. It's been almost 2 hours now, and I'm about to go rest a little bit before I got to go to work. Anyway, thank people who came through watching the video. Thank y'all for coming. Um, this is Brother Speak. Remember, be powerful or be powerless. The choice is yours. Peace.